You can look at the same thing 100 times and think you know it inside out, and then the 101st time you can look at it and it's almost like you've never even seen it before. You see it with new eyes. How would you live differently if you knew you had a week left? What would you do? How would you dress? Where would you go? What would you share? Who would you talk to? Where would you travel? This question is a weird one to ask yourself because it really puts things in perspective in terms of how small we tend to live and how small we've been kind of told that it's normal to live in terms of like doing the certain route that is set out for us. And if you don't follow this certain route, this certain path, you're shamed, you're difficult, you're full of yourself. Imagine if you gave yourself permission to adjust your life in ways that made you not need to escape it. And I understand that people have responsibilities, people have kids, people have to pay the bills. But imagine if you could add a few things into your days that made it easier to romanticize, or really you just learnt to romanticize what you already do and what you already have. I think sometimes we think we have to make these big changes in order to have a richer life. And if we had this money, or if we went to this place, or this relationship, or all of these things, then we'd be able to live that dream life, then we'd be happy, then we'd be better. And we're just waiting for that time to come, that time in the future. Then we'll be cool, then we'll be fine, then we'll be great. The now is all that we ever have, and these future things aren't guaranteed. So while it's important to have goals and things that you look forward to, it's healthy, don't live in the future, because it may never come and all we ever have is now. So instead of needing to quit your job and run away to the hills and become a bouquet or florist lady, all you really need to do is learn to find beauty in what is already around you and the routines that you already have in this moment, no matter where you're watching this. Yeah. Some ways I love to do this are walking slower. I have very long legs. I'm about 6 foot. So I tend to just get around pretty quick, and people always say that I walk fast. But lately I've been encouraging myself to purposefully walk very slowly. Of course, if I'm not in a rush, but I don't tend to be in a rush. I tend to always give myself a lot of time to get to places. That's just the way I am, or else I will be late. ADHD. So yeah, walking slower, like I'm talking slow, like very, very slow. Slow enough that you see the details that surround you. Slow enough that you hear all the different noises going on. You see all the different people. Slow enough that you even see the insects crawling in the cracks in the walls. And slow enough that you could even imagine a story for them. Wonder where they're going, who they're going home to. It's a beautiful thing. A lot of people are talking about childlike wonder online again now, and it's great. But I don't even want to call it childlike wonder. I just think it's just romanticizing your life. And we don't have to even attach childlike to it, because I think that's part of why it's so, some people call you childish as like a negative thing, but it's like, it's not childish to create stories and characters and games and really enjoy using your imagination. I think that's an incredible thing. Another thing I do to romanticize my life is, it's kind of a funny one, but drinking normal drinks in just really nice glasses. It sounds so random, but you can drink your water out of the plastic bottle if you want, or whatever you drink out of, or you can put it in a wine glass with a slice of lemon. And it's funny because they're the things we tend to do when we know we've got company coming over. You know, we tidy the house, we deep clean the house when we know we've got company coming over. And I'm someone who does that. Like, I love to have a really nice clean space for when I'm having someone that I love come over. But today I was literally like, there's no one coming over, but I'm someone that I love and this is my life. So I deep cleaned the bathroom, my room, and it felt really good to do that for myself, even though no one else is going to see it or notice it. And that's definitely another way to romanticize your life. Eat off the nice plates that you would normally save for when you've got guests that come once a year. Eat off them, treat yourself on the weekend. Like, when you have food, display it in a way you would display it for someone that you love. Don't just throw it all in a bowl. Like, if you can, on days when you've got the ability to go a little slower, plate it in a really nice way. A way that makes it look appetizing, and a way that makes it look so beautiful and makes you want to take a photo of it. I think that's really nice, and it makes it taste better, in my opinion. Another way I've been romanticizing my life is to collect objects, and not in a hoarder type of way. My room is actually quite minimal, but if something speaks to me, like a leaf or a pebble or a flower, or like a piece of art, like on a card or something, I will pick it up and I will put it somewhere where I can look at it, and I'll insert a clip of some of the things that I've got around my room that remind me of the outside beauty, the beauty of nature, the interconnectedness with all of these things. And I can look around my room, you know, in these four walls, and there's a less separation between outside, which is where we are supposed to be. Us lot, in this day and age, most of us don't spend enough time outside. We have adapted to being cozy and being very, I want to say, like, safe from the elements. Not that they're going to harm us, but it almost feels like a bit of rain or some heavy wind. We just can't handle it as much as we would have been able to a long time ago. And that's okay. I have sensory issues, so sometimes light is just too much for me, and to be away from the light is really good, and to be able to control what I can hear with headphones, ear defenders type thing is important. But yeah, when you do have the capacity to be outside, even in the rain, I think that's a great thing. Another way I've been romanticizing life is creating playlists for myself as if I was, someone I love, which I am, and we, that's what we try and be the most of the time. We all fall off it, but yeah, create a playlist like you would create for your lover or a friend you love, but create it for yourself, songs that you would love to be sent. You can do that for yourself. That's a beautiful thing. And then let's take it up a notch. How about you I don't drink, so I would pour some tart cherry in a very nice crystal wine glass, and I would sip it slowly. I would light some incense. I would put the playlist on. I would dance for myself in private, at the beach at night, in the garden, in the sun, in the rain, wherever it feels right. And that's a really nice thing to do for yourself. So often we wait for the love we wish to receive, and as much as I receive a lot of amazing love from my partner, my friends, my family, sometimes you just have to give what you need now to yourself, because people have their own lives, they've got things to do, but you can give it to yourself as well. And that creates a lot more of a healthy foundation for relationships to thrive, because no one can be your everything, and no one can be what you need all the time. Like, it's not normal. We all have off days, we all have days where we're busy. It's important to be able to fill your cup up just out of love, and then the overflow goes to your family, your friends, and your lovers, which is a beautiful thing. Another thing I do to romanticize my life is, if there's something I really enjoy, like I love dark chocolate, I will buy the exact dark chocolate I want with no shit in it, no shitty ingredients. I will spend whatever it costs on whatever that bar of chocolate is, and I will feel no guilt about spending more money than people usually spend on, like, you know, £1 for a massive bar of Cadbury's. I'll drop happily £4 on a small chocolate bar if it is what I want. And I think that's a really useful thing when you're working towards abundance. And it's also like, again, I don't drink, so a lot of people on the weekend would go out and drink, and that's absolutely cool if that works for them, but for me that doesn't work. So I just treat myself to like a healthy chocolate or nice drinks that I really enjoy instead of alcohol, like really nice organic teas, things like that. And I make a real ritual out of the things that I do. I don't just rush it together. Like, maybe in the morning it might be a bit more of a rush, but normally, like, I'm the sort of person who, if I've got work or a place to be, I will be up 2, 3, 4 hours before I have to be at that place, because I, like, you know, I'd rather sleep a little bit less or go to sleep a little bit earlier and have that time where I can do my things, I can meditate, I can breathe. I guess that kind of leads me actually into another way, which is meditation. Meditation as mindfulness. Less meditation as just completely clearing your mind and disassociating. I've been going a bit far, maybe we could say, with that at the moment. As much as that's great and important for my practice. Meditation as an action. Meditation as movement. Meditation as song. The things that we do can be a form of meditation. There's of course the way of meditating, it's just clear your mind when thoughts come again. Observe them, don't judge, clear your mind, and that is a part of it. But to enter a flow state of what you're doing allows that process to be less of a thing that you have to try so hard to do. Like, oh, I've really got to try and stop thinking, oh, these thoughts, I want them to go. When you're really into what you're doing and you enter flow, it is just the way it happens naturally, is that your thoughts tune into this place of quiet and peace, and it's a safe place and it feels lovely, and there's no, oh, I shouldn't be thinking about this, or my mind should be more quiet. There's no like shame or guilt associated with it. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing for sure. Another way I romanticize life is through play. And I kind of touched on this at the start when I said childlike wonder, or more so just wonder. adult wonder. Play, like, play dress up. And okay, while I personally am not going to buy a pink tutu and rainbow leggings like young Maisie would have done for my dress up, I may still want to go to a charity shop or a thrift shop and dig through the bins and like piece together an outfit that's kind of crazy and kind of less simple than my most of my daily outfits. And you don't have to buy them, you can just play, and maybe actually you'll find something you love, and maybe it will just be fun. Another way to just play and lean into that is music. And I'm a vocalist, and I'm not very skilled in any other sort of instrument, but when I allow myself to take that away, oh, I'm not skilled enough, I'm not good enough, and I just say, there's a tool in front of me, I have, the means to play it with these hands or whatever I may use to play it. Let me see what happens. Something inside of me exhales because I realise that things that sometimes I can think we have to be perfect at aren't that at all. They're just fun. And the sounds that we create, we might actually surprise ourselves. And a lot of the time I do surprise myself. And it's encouraging. You don't have to want to be a musician. You don't have to want to be anything. But to remember you can just do whatever. Like you can buy some clay, make a pot. Maybe you'll never make a pot again. But you tried something. And that's romanticizing life. Trying things that maybe only for one day or 1 hour call to you. And they're outside of the norm. They're outside of the box that people around you have put you in. Not by wanting to put you in a box, but just as we do as humans. Oh, this person, they do this, they don't like this food, blah, 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 blah. You can at any point decide to break out of that box and refuse to get in one again. And if people want to put you there, that's on them, but it doesn't mean you're in that box. You're not limited to any box ever. No matter how long you may have allowed yourself to live in one, you can always cut out and maybe turn the box into a cool little ornament that you put on the shelf and you look at and reminds you of what it used to be. But you don't have to identify with that anymore. That's cool. Another thing I do to romanticize my life is get lost in books. So I will make a tea, I will set the mood in my room with soft instrumental music, and I'll choose a book based on how I feel. Sometimes I'll read from start to finish. A lot of the times I love to just open a book. Like obviously certain books, it could be a bit random, but I mean, I do love random things. But like if it's a spiritual book, or I don't know, like a book like this, Be Here Now by Ram Dass, you can just open it on any page, and I love that. I love the feeling of like, this was the page I was meant to open it to. And just like read one page and see if there's anything you take from it. Anything you take from it, that's your intuition. So it's a beautiful thing. Something else I do to romanticize life is nurturing plants and working with plants and herbs in order to heal naturally. I love to use rosemary to make teas, and I've got a lot of plants in my room. I love to water those and play them nice music that feels really good. There's so many things you can do. But I think, honestly, the best way to romanticize life, for me, isn't the fear of, oh my goodness, this is all going to end one day. It's kind of the wonder of, as beautiful as this already is to me, as much as my mind is blown by the details and the glory of this planet, there's so much left to see and discover, and that leaves me in such a curious state. And you can look at the same thing 100 times and think you know it inside out, and then the 101st time you can look at it and it's almost like you've never even seen it before. You see it with new eyes. What's one thing you could do today to romanticize your life? I would love to know. Thank you for listening. See you next time.